mind your business. Fruit and mind your business.
Hey guys, it has been a minute. Missed y'all, but welcome to another week's episode of Eat Fruit Pod, EFP family. How are y'all doing? I'm your girl Kay.
And I'm Natasha Renee.
And it's good to see y'all, like hear y'all, or how does it go? You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Read what you got to say.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to waste any time. How's your weeks been? I know Natasha and I have been like, not that it's an excuse and we always make the time to make the schedule, but a lot has been going on out of our control. So I thank you guys for, still rocking with us, still tagging us and stuff, still like letting us know that you're still rocking. I see the other episode numbers have been like increasing because I guess you guys have had a chance to catch up on episodes you might have missed. So really thank you guys for the support.
Thank
Tasha,
you so
how have
much.
you been?
Busy, just got back from Florida. Still a little tired moving. So I'm excited. Finally in my space. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was quiet. Thanking God for all of his blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to say about that.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
So, before we get started into like the thick of everything tonight, I kind of had it placed in another part, but I think we should just say it here and foremost. What's happening between like Russia and Ukraine. It's not a game, people. I know the Twitter jokes have been hilarious. It's funny, but this definitely has not been a game. So I'm definitely praying for Ukraine.
Definitely.
And when I say I'm praying for Russia, not necessarily that I'm in support of what they're advocating, but there's a lot of people there that don't necessarily support what is happening right now, and they're stuck within these confines, and it's just war is never a good thing except for the people who are collecting the money behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So special prayers out to everyone in Ukraine and Russia. And seeing a lot of these videos, there's a lot of footage, even no matter how much they try to shadow ban and not let us see what's happening, which is very frightening because we've talked about it. You've seen times on like Instagram will like take your stuff where you'd be like, oh, I'm shadow banned or whatever. But like now we know something like very detrimental is happening in a part of the world that is affecting us and will continue to affect us, as if you're watching the news. And it's crazy to see how they're really taking the media and taking things off the internet or not allowing you to share certain things. And people in Ukraine and Russia, they're losing their voice. And it's very important for us to keep the news flowing of what's happening as much as we can, because as I said, it's not a game.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on like everything happening?
No, I mean it's definitely something serious. There are people that are being affected that, children, families that are just innocent bystanders that are in the middle of this chaos. So I'm definitely praying and hoping that there is some type of resolution. I know I watched the news today and they have not resolved anything. They came together and there is no resolution at this point. And I'm just hoping that something happens because, people are losing their mothers, their fathers, and no one wants that at all.
No one wants it at all. And it's just really sad, and even in the midst of war, not that I'm surprised, but I'm not going to ignore, as I said, what's being shown and what's happening on the media. And there's a lot of viral clips going on of showing the separation and the racism still being executed in Ukraine, of people trying to flee or get to safety to other places. And literally, Ukrainians themselves are blocking Africans and other minority groups and people of color from getting to a place of safety. And if you read history, you know history, not much has changed in that sense. And no offense, but during this whole panini as well, I've definitely seen height of racism as well. You see the clicks and how people go. Like if you're in the grocery store and when those paper towels and stuff and toilet paper was running low, ain't nobody was turning to you and being like, oh well, I have 5 here, you can take 1. So there's no advice I could really give, but just to be as safe as possible. And for us over here, right now in first world countries, I would say, let's definitely count our blessings and the fact that we could be somewhere tonight and we're not hearing bombs being dropped over our head, at least for now. We're not having fire drop down. And, seeing a lot of those videos is just very heartbreaking because a lot of those people are not that they're not involved, but they're involved not by choice.
Yeah.
And as things continue to progress, more and more people are speaking out on how a lot of things, they're making it seem like it's our choice, but it's not our choice.
It's definitely not.
So yeah, definitely prayers out to Ukraine, prayers out to those in Russia that, are being suckered into something that they really did not want to be a part of in the first place. And
it's sad.
yeah. So moving forward, trying to lighten the mood, not distract us. I don't know if this is really lightning, but as we know, we previously reported that Tasha K had lost her battle or case against Cardi B in court, and it's still counting those punitive damages, but so far it's somewhere around $4 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tasha K recently sat down. Shout outs to Kendra G and Kendall. Love them. They have a podcast now together, or a show together called Social Society on the All Black Network. So Tasha K was a guest on there recently. And when they had asked her about, how she's going about paying back Cardi B and getting her these funds, we be seeing her do great on YouTube, etc. Tasha K, and I quote, said, I ain't got it. So, what are your thoughts on that, Natasha?
She said she got kids to feed. She don't have the money. But I knew that Tasha K was going to cry broke. I mean, who wouldn't want to cry broke after, losing the case? But I knew she was going to do it. But even when I listened to it or heard her talk about her kids and stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, Cardi B got kids too. But like, what does your kids have to do with what you did? Like, you did something bad, and there are repercussions after you do something bad. And if you have to pay her, you have to pay her, regardless if it's going to hurt your pockets or not. You have to pay her.
And as someone that is not earning 7 figures yet, when them bill collectors come, they don't care about what you got. Pay me my money. So Tasha K, like, legally speaking, there are a lot of ways you can go. You can appeal. You can try to get, payment plan arranged, whatever she got to do. But if Cardi B is the Libra sister, I know her to be. She don't care. At some point, you gonna get her coins.
I know she is trying to appeal it. I did hear her speak like right after the case, that whole spiel that she put out, and that she was going to appeal. So that may be it too. She's trying to hold on to her money until she appeals the case.
And as well, it's also like Tasha K's not dumb. You know what I mean? I've been seeing like the work she's been putting out since then. And she always puts out, as I said, high quality interviews and things, but she's really been, knowing who to probe, what attention to kind of grab and seek to get her ratings even more up so that she can get them coins. So at the same time, while she's saying that, when you're reading in between the lines and looking, she is clearly working to try and get that bag up to get this together, right?
Definitely.
So I don't know what to say. Like, you're gonna go heavy one way, you gotta be prepared for the consequences. And as I said, this is a lot of a lesson that a lot of bloggers and media pages are going to learn either the hard way, but like Tasha K by example, or you just use your common sense. Like,
Yeah.
I can see how it could possibly turn into a drug to maybe shed a light here and there. But at the end of the day, and being someone that's growing within that space, I've never found that worth it, because whether you forgot it about it and it was a post you made, whoever, you never know when it could be dug back up and used against you, similar to people's Twitter feeds and stuff like that. You never
Yeah.
know. Not to not speak your truth, but don't embellish and be lying on people, knowing that nothing goes stuff. Yeah. Was there anything else you want to say about it?
No, nothing else. Not about Tasha K. So no.
All right. So moving forward, before I even start this topic, I really want to say, like, prayers out to Wendy Williams. I really like how I see people playing with her out here. Like, she's not a goat at what she does. You know what I mean? Like, when you hear the name Wendy Williams, people know what that is. So at the end of the day, like, yes, she's talked about this and she said this, but like, Wendy Williams is a media like go out here. And
Definitely.
it's kind of like crazy to see how people are playing with her. Um, of course we know Kevin played with her, but like, just the media, and 1 minute they're saying her show is canceled or it's going to be canceled come this time, and then she's coming out saying that ain't it. And it's very confusing. It's very confusing, but I say that to say, Sherri Shepherd has been filling in for Wendy Williams show, and now it is rumored, or the official announcement has come out to say that, I feel like at first they were trying to say Sherri Shepherd was going to take over, and then something happened. So now she's going to be blessed with her own show. Congratulations for her. She's going to be blessed with her own show. But what I'm not clear about is, some people are saying it's going to be in the time slot of when Wendy Williams' show is. And then some are saying it's just going to be her own daytime show. So nevertheless, what are your thoughts on?
I'm still confused with it because, like you were saying, the rumors were that she was going to slowly ease the audience into it being her show. And I know when I heard that, I'm like, well, if I'm hearing it, then everybody else is hearing the same thing that you guys are saying. So I guess because the rumor got out that the plan changed. But I think my thing is, if it is Sherri Shepherd taking over the Wendy Williams show, shout out to Sherri Shepherd. This is something that she definitely wanted. But if it is in place of Wendy's audience, like you said, Wendy is a GOAT. She had that show very long time, stayed on air for a very long time. A lot of people don't make it as long as she made it. And I just wonder, like, if she is taking over the show, I know that there is going to be a shift. And I know people, oh, well, Sherri, has the audience, but it's not Wendy. It's not
do it.
Yes, it's not Wendy. So I'm hoping if they do it, that they completely change it to be Sherri's show and not the similarities to Wendy's show.
And it's still congratulations to her, because it's another Black woman that we definitely seen put in a lot of work. I personally am not like a huge Sherri Shepherd fan, to the point where I could see myself enjoying like a daytime show and her talking about these things that like Wendy would talk about, and deem it like interesting for me. But to each their own, right? It could definitely grow into something, or maybe be something, or she could shock the world in a way that maybe we don't know, right? I have seen them, use a lot of people to kind of like start off. At one point, we seen Nick Cannon doing it, and then he was supposed to take over, and then he ended up getting his own show. I really love seeing Remy Ma do it as well with Fat Joe, and You know, I see them been trying to get people here and there. So we'll see what actually happens. But I will say the news has been confusing because Wendy's saying one thing, her team is saying one thing, and then the network is saying, you know, something else. So it's at the end of the day, we know something's wrong.
Yeah.
We know Wendy isn't well. We don't know exactly what, but we do know she isn't well. So prayers out to her. She's still a GOAT, regardless of what people gotta say. And you know, I don't like when I see messages like, oh, she get what she deserve or her time coming, because a lot of y'all be using coke and sniffing up your nose. So I'm never gonna like judge her off of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you see how it is when you're down, and
Everybody will continue to kick you while you're down.
right. And I do admit, like, Wendy does say a lot of things that, so sorry guys, Wendy does say a lot of things that like would be deemed a bit below the belt, but that's, as I said, Wendy Williams' brand from we've been hearing her on radio till now. She's never wavered from that. That was one of the things that had her catapulting in her career. So we'll see how this goes. It's a bit still news, but you did hear about Nellie's accidental upload video.
Yes, that I still was. I don't know. I tried, and I said, you know what? I give up. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I heard his apologies and everything, and I was like, was it even worth it? The face. Was it even worth looking at?
I had high hopes for Nellie, and I think he thought he was going on with a lot until he got the honest Yelp reviews, and he realized everyone's like, "We get it, Ashanti." That's all I'm gonna say. Okay.
Oh yeah, once you
And
left.
mind your business.
That's all I'm gonna say. Woo. Okay. Moving forward, Hollywood Unlocked. They have reported that Queen Elizabeth had passed away, and there was a lot of backsplash because no other platform had put that out. One being like TMZ, where people are used to a lot. TMZ being like the first one to kind of like report what's happening, and then everyone kind of follows suit. But this time it was Hollywood Unlocked, and it's still yet to be confirmed or denied by the palace. I do want to say that to people. I really do want to say that to people. Like, if you're really like reading the media and not these like, I mean, like news articles and not like these like hot one-liner like titles, the palace has yet to deny or confirm. So I feel like sometimes when you're not saying something, you're saying something where you try and figure out. But nevertheless, let me not. So Jason Lee did put out, you know, his own PSA and be like, it was doubled down on it. It was like, it was coming from a very reliable source, et cetera, et cetera. It was coming from a very reliable source. So I'm not completely clear as to like what that source was. And I know a lot of people are quick to say things about Jason Lee and how he operates or how he gets his information. But I feel like Queen Elizabeth passing away, that's something not to play with.
Yeah.
At all. Like, so I feel like to the extent he's built his brand, everything he has going on, despite what people try to say about Jason Lee, I feel like, why would you have this as like fake news?
Yeah. Well, we haven't gotten the this is fake. Like you know, usually when we do the rest in peace, you know how prematurely we have killed off a lot of people.
Yes, that is true.
But usually right away we get the answer.
Facts.
And I did read something where Jason Lee did say that he was sticking to his story. He said, based off of the source that he had, he was sticking to his story unless someone else says likewise. He said he was doubling down and sticking to it. So for you to stick to it and double down on it, I don't know.
And also I wanted to just highlight the fact of like, as I said, people have had a lot of things, good and bad, to say about Jason Lee. And, you know, prior to certain things, maybe his practices haven't been A1, but where he is now and really seeing how much he's grown Hollywood unlocked to a competitive platform and to really be in that high regard, people are still trying to figure out how he got Kanye to do all this stuff at his studio. And that's like a lot of hateration, you know? And it's just kind of like, when you think about that, and even myself included, being a smaller platform still growing, and a lot of the times people don't pay you that respect, or feel like because it's coming from you, it ain't true, or like it ain't that. We're gonna wait for the shade room, we're gonna wait for her. And it's like, these are when you also see those interchanging of, would it be like levels? I don't know if that's the proper statement, but this is where you see the changing of the guard. I think that's what I was trying to say. And like, he's up, Hollywood's up, and it's stuck right now. And there's a lot of things where you just have to put that respect. And Hollywood Unlocked, I feel like, has more than earned their title and their name, to now, like how you would listen to so many things and people be like, I see it on the shade room, I see it on the shade room. Hollywood Unlocked is that platform as well. So I'm not saying he's lying.
But I mean, I know when, like, even with us, and I was thinking when you were saying that, how we have come across somehow, and I know you probably have too, some celebrity news that you're not supposed to know about. Because I remember before I even started podcasting as a teenager,
Lovely T, ooh, she be giving up the scoop.
I had got some tea that just so happened to hit me, and it just so happened that I knew the other person's, like, and when I heard it, I had to call somebody like, did you know this? And they were like, no. And like 3 or 4 months later when it came out, I was like, and I just so happened to know about it because of my friends and them taking pictures and doing stuff. And I knew who the guy was. And they were like, do you know who such, like, have you ever heard? I was like, yeah, I know who this is. Like, I literally know who this is. And they were like, oh, you didn't know who he was. Them not knowing who he was, and me knowing the people that was in his circle. But yeah, it's plenty of times where we get stuff. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be the big news media outlets, but we get stuff and we have to hold on to it because of, we have to wait until that person or the big, like you said, the TMZs report it, where we've been sitting on it for a minute.
Because sometimes it's not even like an excitement thing of being like, oh, I got it first. There's also a lot of backsplash that comes with that. Like I said, there's been times when, like, as I said, certain people have been at the height of media, and my DMs, personal, because people know I run the page and the actual page, swarming my DMs with this, and they're like, girl, I really shouldn't be saying anything because I signed an NDA. So I'm like, why you put me in this position, you know? And and I said, it goes down to character, it goes down to, you know, what you're really in it for. That's the best I can say about it, and what you do with that situation. So it's like your public enemy number one sometimes, when you come up with certain information first, thinking it would be like a up for you, but it's turning out to be something different. So I will say, as I said, I'm not saying Jason Lee lying. I'm gonna just sit on it, because like I said, when Meghan Markle and Harry left that house and they were saying, oh, this and that, the palace was quick to come out and be like, they're no longer this and this, blah, blah, blah. They never once came out yet and said, and it was something that went highly viral.
It did.
So, yeah. Moving forward, and speaking of people putting things in order, all right. Queen Britney Spears, I'm happy for her. She is set to release her tell-all memoir book after signing a $15 million book deal with publishing company Simon & Schuster. Sorry, guys, my tongue twister. But this is, I feel like it's a long time coming, but I would have more seen it as a doc. But either way, Britney is a GOAT in her own way. After her sister done played her, lied on her, and watch her suffer, and try to come out with her own book, trying to, I'm not team Jamie Lynn, not at all. Not at all. Not that I'm getting in family business, but like I can't believe you see how your family was playing with your sister and you just let it rock until the world was like, girl, you're wrong. And that's when she was like, oh, like, no, girl, you're wrong. So I really hope Britney gets to tell her truth. Obviously, that's someone I've grown up with, respected, and at the same time, feel so bad for her. Like,
yeah, definitely.
She sacrificed so much of her youth and life to give us like entertainment, only to be getting played like this at like the latter years of her career. I don't like that. So I'm really interested to see what Britney got to say, from
Me
Kevin
too.
Federline to all of it. To all of it. Because before there was Casper and J-Lo, I may be showing my age. It was like Kevin Federline. He was one of the first backup dancers to really come up.
Yeah.
Off the strength.
And let's not forget Brittany and Justin. So.
Ooh. And he's still salty in my books, okay, with the whole Janet Jackson. So, Brittany, say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Black Twitter is on your side. Say what you gotta say. What are your thoughts on like Britney Spears having like a book deal, being able to like hopefully tell her truth?
I'm excited because I saw the Free Britney documentary, and even with that, it kind of caught my. I'm like, Free Britney, but then when I watched it, I was like, wow, I did not know like
they covered
that
it
her
up well.
Yeah, that her family literally has like every right to her, and I'm like you said, she's our age, and for you not to be able to control your life, that's a lot. So I'm definitely, excited to hear what she has to say. And I'm hoping that, it is her really speaking about what's going on now and everything in real time. Also, stuff in her past, but I definitely want to know what's going on with her in real time and what's in her head right now.
I agree. And even like, with Kanye, and I'm not saying, but a lot of things do point to seeing how maybe certain large families are trying to pay him in a certain line, and as soon as something is said a certain way or it makes too much sense, it's, oh, he crazy, oh, he ain't taking his meds. So I could definitely see how they did that to Britney. And as well, not saying she doesn't have issues, but who wouldn't after everything she's gone through and coping? And a lot of times these doctors give you things and they don't really fully explain to you the extent of how addictive it can become. And the next thing you know, you're signing over POA, power of attorney, not understanding or knowing the significance of how much you're actually giving away.
How you can't get it back, basically, either. Like the process of getting your life back.
Yeah, it's really sad, but like I'm really hoping that she'll be able to tell her truth and just give it to us how she wants to, because as I said, we've been knowing her from mad young. She was very young, giving us a lot of her life. And I feel like there's a lot that she could have said and she didn't. And as well, white people be having drama. Like they have drama, okay? It's just Black people talk about it more upfront, whatever. But when you get into their story, like you're like, wow, like they just don't be fooled thinking white people don't have baby mama, baby father, all the, like they got drama. So
yes,
Britney, speak your truth. I'm here. I will go on Amazon. I will buy the book. I'll still listen to the audio. But I really hope you get to just
me too.
Do your thing and tell your truth, because I loved you and you're a very instrumental part of my young life, adolescent life, and helping me to feel more confident as a woman. Even like now looking back, I'm like, wow, you imagine like what she was feeling all those times they were making her, like, remember even the track Slave when it dropped, and it's just like, wow, like it hits so much deeper now that I'm older. I'm like, she was really trying to like
to realize how she was a teenager.
right, and they let you do all these adult things and red carpet and this and that, as long as it benefits them. And like that father, mm, 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 Mr. Spears, they gonna come for you, sir. But I'm happy. I feel like 15 million maybe isn't enough, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully she'll get more work off of this.
Yeah, she has so many fans. She doesn't have anything to worry about as far as that book.
Facts. So. We love you, Britt. We really do. Moving forward, Kanye West Genius doc finally is on path. Donda 2 still yet to be released, but Genius is out, and I think 2 parts are officially out now. And we been knew who Kanye was, but because I guess the times, there's so much information always coming out and things of that nature, especially for the younger generation, they don't know a lot of the things that we know or remember about Kanye. Because even starting to watch the documentary, I know there's lots of ways he could have started it. And like you being a writer yourself, I'm sure there's ways, how people can put the storyline together. So what I will say thus far is I'm really loving the aspect he's taking on his story in parallel to what he's going through now, and just showcasing the fact that even then, a lot of people call him crazy. They don't believe him. They tried to play him. And then Through the Wire is one of the biggest tracks in the hip hop history to this day. You know what I mean? Showing how all those things came together. I'm going to say something else, but I want you to give your opinion on like what you think it's so far.
I think it's good. I like the fact that, the guy decided to like, let me do a documentary. Like, who would have known that something that he just decided to do because he saw the potential? Because in the beginning he says it. He's like, we knew who Kanye was in the middle, like in Chicago. But when I saw that he got put on this track, that's when I knew that he was going to be a superstar. And I knew that I had to get my chance then, to follow him. But to see him push out that album by himself, knowing that he had a label behind him, and he still had to push it out to get studio time, a little bit like 10 minutes here. Like,
and these artists, girl, keep going.
I now understand the relationship between him and Jay.
1,000%.
Is the way that he is
1,000%.
Because how he never felt supported.
1,000%.
But yeah, to watch him put that whole album together and in the car, even when he was playing All Falls Down and in the studio, in the office, and just how everybody just ignored him, and like it's there. This is not.
Well, to give correction to that part, Wayno, which I do follow on social media, and he was like an intern at Rockefeller back then. He did say, even prior to like those clips that Kanye showed, it was like he already played it and everybody kind of like went off, and then he went back again around the office and was like playing again. So like by that time, everybody that was like,
I was like, why is everybody just talking? And it makes sense now because everybody was just like going on about their business and he's just popping it.
I felt that way too. But Wayno did come out and say that, and
it makes sense because I was like, well, dang, y'all just. But even on the new episode when they were at Dame Dash's hotel and showcasing the little girl, whoever was, and then Kanye put his music on.
Yes, and that's the thing too. Is like the message is carrying throughout his whole career. People have tried to play him, and
now you know why he acts the way he does.
And it's very heartbreaking too when we look at the dynamic between mother and son. damn, like I really want Kanye to find that love that I see his mother like display
And
to
she's
him, but that's going to be a very tough, like through watching it I can't really describe the feeling, but I just feel like that's gonna RIP Miss Donda, there's a very huge space to fill, a very huge space to fill. I could just see in the way she would talk to him, the way she
even when she
would,
was talking about lyrics, like
yes.
what's that one when you was like
I was like, yes, Miss Donda, like, you know, and man, it was really heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking. Her busting champagne with the crew, you know,
yeah.
he really showed how certain people along your journey, they're so necessary. You
Yep.
know, even there was a part where okay, stuff finally started clicking for Kanye, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get Hype Williams to do this video." And is it Cooley or Coogee? What was his?
I
I
think
don't
it's
want to
cool.
just Cooley.
It's
I
cool.
really don't want to disrespect him because we all need a Cooley on our team. We all do, and there's nothing underlinked about playing that role because as you can see now, Kanye is giving him and continuously giving him the love and respect he deserves because he was one of the first people to really like believe in him, you know. But when they were and he's like, you gonna get, and then Kanye was trying to explain to him, you know, I'm getting bigger now, a bigger budget, and I see this Hype Williams or whatever. And you could hear Cooley kind of share, like, bruh, I know how you work. I know you're kind of undecisive person. You're this, you're that. Like they're telling you without telling you because it's not like he's like easy when you're working with a creative or a genius on that level. It's hard sometimes, I guess, what you're seeing in your brain for others to get, or like your thought will be here and people will be wondering like, how the heck did you get there? Like we were just talking about this. So it's very rare to find people that can like work among you in those spaces. We'll see people like Diddy, and a lot of those people went through things like that, you know, because people just can't catch up with their process of thinking, you know. And seeing Cooley be like, he wasn't offended, but he was just kind of like, all right, but like, don't be coming back to me, then telling me whatever. And then that's exactly what happened. He wasn't happy with the video he got with Hype Williams, and then they ended up recording their own video. But even in the when they were doing the premiere of the video, and Kanye said up at this point, I probably invested about 33,000 US dollars through the wire. That's just one record. And a lot of you artists or something won't even invest $100 into your career. I don't see none of y'all reciting your songs enough to even know the lyrics that way. I don't see none of y'all like I just, as an artist, I don't know how like you could watch the Kanye doc and feel like you're doing even half enough the work to like even speak or act the way I feel like a lot of these artists do.
Yep.
A lot of privileged behavior out here. And it's just like Kanye's still going through those things. Another thing I'll say is like when you remember back to like the Drink Champs video, interview, and like remember when Kanye was kind of like fuck John Legend and like all this stuff. Well, who you see in the studio earlier, and then Tutu's he's using the same guy to do his documentary, and he's recording Get Lifted, you know? So I feel like if there's anyone that has a right to say fuck John Legend or fuck certain people, especially through watching this doc, you can visually see, I think Kanye earned that right.
Yeah.
He knows what he's saying. He knows what was happening in those studios. You can see even a lot of the people that they tried to play him for, where are they now? Where are their records on Billboard?
Dude, the guy where they showed it, he was literally talking to the guy in the daytime, and the guy was like, yeah, I love you, dapping it up. And then that night at the studio, I made this record. Like it was just in this man's face.
I was so happy he did that. And I was like, good. You wanted your 15 minutes of fame? There it is.
And where are you now?
And it was just like, it was kind of like so heartbreaking too, because you could like, I don't know, I could feel it from Kanye, like when he pulled up on him at the parking lot.
Yeah.
And was like, bruh, like.
He was like, I shouted out, I said something about you, but they didn't put it in the interview.
And I know how that goes.
Studio and then say it so people can know. Like that just showed that he was genuinely like sincere about that.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's like even like the stages I'm at, I see how things like that happen, how it goes, or how people respond to certain things. And it's just like, if you're already catching feelings or being like that off of something like this, you weren't really for me. You weren't,
Nope.
you were like, because once again, if you're so amazing, where are you now?
Yep.
Like people act like when it's your calling, it's your calling. No matter how much you try to do for others, nobody's trying to block you. Sometimes the support role is the role. And that is okay as long as you're supporting the right people for the right reasons. Yep. Everybody wants to be like the leader. And it's just like sometimes a real leader isn't even the person you see at the front. It's someone like, you know what I mean? Nobody told Cooley, yo, pick up this camera and come do this. Yeah, you follow his gut. And I'm sure, you know, I'm reading in between the lines. I'm sure there were a lot of moments his family was like, you following this man around, what you doing for you? What you doing for your career? But you see when Kanye went off to do his thing, if people were paying attention, that you've seen how people started ringing off his phone because they love what they seen Kanye coming out with. And they're like, we want that guy that did that. So it's like, if you set up your infrastructure how you should for your business and you're playing your role, I definitely feel like God will bless you how you should be blessed. You're creating your resume and you're doing what needs to be done.
I definitely agree.
Powerful documentary. I am mad because I feel like they're dragging it out. They're dragging it out because I'm starting to see like not the Drake parallels, but I see it kind of itching towards. I'm like, bruh, this is gonna be the last because it's only 3 parts, and then you're just gonna compact like all the stuff if we even get it, you know. So I'm already like just being like a greedy fan. I'm like, no, like we need to, you know. But I will say, I did notice in part 1, shots started getting fired when Kanye went and he started admitting part of his addiction to pornography.
Oh yeah, when he bought the magazine. Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm catching the slight shots and I'm reading in between the lines. You know what I mean?
He said it. He said, this is my addiction. He said it.
So we see who he's with now or trying to get back with. And, you know, what came to my mind? I remember one time, I forget where Kanye was performing, and someone literally had a blown up poster of, you know, a scene from Kim Kardashian's most famous tape.
Are you serious?
Hanging it up. I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube. Hanging it up in front of Ye, the whole performance. And it was just like, bruh, like, just when we think about relationships and how you're like, your man is supposed to, or your partner is supposed to help you to feel safe and protected. And like, I'm very sure that man has had to take a lot of backsplash. You think Jada and Will are getting jokes now? I'm sure Kanye was getting a lot of that, especially when he made the decision to wife her up, not date her, but wife her up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I could see how he's a hard person to deal with, but also I could see how this situation is hurting him a lot. Yeah. And with all due respect, like, you're seeing the work he put in. I don't really see them having to put in that work and to know what you built to even get to that point to be doing something like this. And this is how things are going to really like fall out at this point. You know, it's just really, man, I'm going to keep watching it. I'm definitely going to watch it again because, you know, I love music. I love hip hop. And there's just so much to grasp from this. So many people's stories were in there. Even when I think he was in the studio with Pharrell. And Pharrell said something along the lines of like, you know, still like.
Yeah.
But then he said something as well as like, it was something along the lines, I wish I had the quote with me. I should have been prepared, guys. But, you know, remaining humble despite.
Oh, yeah. He told him to continue to remain humble and I know what you're talking about. Basically, continue to be the person that he is.
You know what I mean? And like, even all the people I've been able to speak with that are like really high up that is something to always say. And I find myself even naturally feeling that way. Like when people ask me things and it's just like, you know, I never feel like I'm above anyone. There's still days where I ask myself, why am I doing Downtown World? Why am I doing this? Like, is it even worth it? That's not you quitting, but it's very important for you to have those conversations with yourself and kind of hold that self-review, right? Because you have to be your biggest fan, and that passion really has to drive you, because there's no way you can spend a down payment on a house on one record and that not be passion and really believing in yourself. And I see so many people really, like, even the times when they're drinking in the restaurants or having food, and like a bunch of people are just sitting around them and he's like, I'm Kanye, like I'm gonna be famous on there, and they're sitting there like, yeah.
I know the students, like, okay. And I'm like, if I was that student, to like see him now and be like, I met Kanye, like,
and that's how it is. So it's just like, you can't stop for no one. You got to keep going. You got to still keep pursuing your dreams. And this has definitely been helping me to even like find an extra motivation and inspiration to keep going, because like, look at that. That's Kanye West. He's still a genius. He's still one of our GOATs at the end of the day, regardless of what's happening. And he's just gone through so much. And like, I found like people are so easy to break or give up on what they say they're so passionate about. It's just like, are you really passionate about it? Do you really want this? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, amazing job. Was there anything else you want to say in regards to like the Kanye doc, or what you're looking forward to, or what you want to see?
No, it's great. I love that it's raw footage, that it's real. It wasn't something that, it was before Kanye was Kanye. Like he said, like even with people mispronouncing his name and stuff like that. So no, I really enjoyed it, because who would have thought, like, hey, like I said before, let me get this camera, let me do this. Now it's something to say that I was able to record these parts of this man's life when nobody wanted to listen to him, when they knew him as a producer and only wanted him to produce music.
Facts. And what I will say also as a reminder to everyone, all those small moments, if you're really even taking in this Kanye doc, it adds up to those, what you're seeing now. Because like we were talking about, and you were saying with Dame Dash and how he was in the apartment, and then he was like walking around saying he got to leave and talking you while Kanye, all they're focused on is getting the beats for him. They ain't trying to hear that. And even they had to come around and admit, yo, we didn't think it was going to be this.
Yeah.
And then when you
seriously.
Yeah, and when you hear Drake say Kanye is his idol, and I've kind of always wondered like where that really came, and seeing this part of the story, I'm like, I totally get it. I completely get it. Right? Not unorthodox. You don't expect Jimmy in the wheelchair. You don't expect Kanye, this beat producer, you know what I mean, to be Kanye West.
Yeah. Cause Jimmy, I was like, Jimmy is a rapper, whatever.
Right? But now when they see
Degrassi, like, okay.
Now when they see Aubrey Graham out here, they're begging for a favor.
Right?
They're kissing the throne. They're kissing the ring. So I will say, just try to take out of it, guys, like, if you're really passionate about what you're doing and you're really fighting towards your goals and this is something you really want to do, like, don't be stupid about it. But clearly, if it's what you want, no one can stop you. The only person stopping you is you. Keep fighting, keep going towards what you want, because you know what's placed inside you. Like, you can't deny that. And we just have to keep going, keep going, and don't give up on yourself. Like, there was so much, like, I could talk on and on about that documentary, but I will, like, that's what I'll say in short. What were your lasting?
That was, last things, just let's be mindful of what's going on. Like real shit is happening outside of our homes. Let's just continue to try to stay positive regardless of the good and the, not even the good, just the bad of what's going on, how it's affecting us, and the stuff that's not being covered on the media, that we are like, let's pay attention to what's really going on. I always hope that people resolve things, but I also pray for the people who we are ignoring, and the people that are being denied, and those are the people that I am really like praying for, the people that are being denied access because of the color of their skin. So let's just really be mindful and pray for everybody. But, that touched my heart, just really seeing what's going on and what we don't see on the media.
Agreed. I can't imagine what it's like to be like packing all the things that you can fit into plastic bags or bags that you have at home that you can manage to carry to like move somewhere else just so that you can have a safe place to sleep, if even, it's just really heartbreaking. So prayers out to, Ukraine again. And I definitely don't take for granted being able to lay my head comfortably in a warm place tonight and not have to worry about evacuating, Yeah. So I'll leave it at there. Downtown Sound, we'll be posting the tracks for this week. And once again, thank you guys for rocking with us for these past couple of weeks that we definitely, took a break, but we're here, we're working. We love y'all, EFP family. And Natasha, thank you for everything. I'm happy that you're finally settled in and you're able to, get that freedom going. So, guys,
thank you.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say thank you for your patience. Thank you for everything. I always thank you for allowing me on your platform. Thank you guys for listening, and also just all the support that you give for this podcast, which I think is a great platform for people to listen to.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of jealous. VA surpassed Toronto the other day in our numbers, and I was like, yo, like, what's happening? Like, Toronto, we gotta rep more. We gotta like, come on, like they're out here like trumping, like the started as Toronto. I don't even know what it is for Toronto. I'm gonna just say shout outs to the Six. And thank you guys as well for just all your support again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't take this for granted, and follow your passion.
Definitely follow your passion like that.